Hello, welcome back to Paul's Stuff. This is my space on YouTube where I get to talk about all the things I love. Lots of Star Wars, lots of lightsabers. Today's Star Wars, it's almost kind of a follow-up video to one that I did earlier in the year about the white or the lighter coloured Sith Wayfinder from Galaxy's Edge, Disney Parks Galaxy's Edge. At the time I reviewed this, I explained that there were two versions of this. There's the lighter coloured one and a dark coloured one. They're sold as blind box by Disney for $49.99, I believe, at the park. You can only get them at the park unless you buy them from a third-party reseller. I was fortunate enough to be bought the white one to review, and the same person has funded the purchase of the Black Wayfinder so that I can do a comparison between the two. Very kind of them. I very much appreciate them doing that, and without that this video wouldn't be here, because I would have just settled for just having one. So these are the Sith Wayfinders. We're going to specifically focus on the black one today. So this is the Black Wayfinder. It's a nice object. Sith Wayfinders are they're a means of finding directions to places that we first see in the Rise of Skywalker movie. So the black one belonged to Darth Vader, and that's found on Mustafar by Kylo Ren. And the white one was owned by the Emperor. Rey finds this in the wreck of the Death Star 2, and it's destroyed by Kylo Ren when they meet in that location. So that's the kind of background to these. So they're like electronic maps, really. This is Star Wars GPS. These function with the Kyber Crystals, which you also buy at Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. The Kyber Crystals will work with a number of toys. They work with these Sith Wayfinders. They work with the Jedi and Sith holocrons that you can see behind me. And they also work with the Savvy's Workshop lightsabers, an example of which you can see behind me there on that shelf. This is my Star Wars Galaxy's Edge shelf. So that's the background to these toys. They're a four-sided pyramid. They have a battery compartment in the bottom. They take AA batteries, and there's a switch on the bottom. When you turn the switch on, you get a little flash of light, and then you have to remove this cable thing and put it on to the Wayfinder, and then the Wayfinder will come on. I'm just going to turn this off for a moment. So as I mentioned, these come sold as blind box purchases. If you want to see my opinions on that, my White Wayfinder has my opinions on that. I'm not very impressed by it, but I'm not going to go into that in this video. So they come in one of these lovely boxes. These are really nicely done. They have a nice texturing to them. The interiors are like a flocked plastic, but they're very, very cheap. And in fact, this one has, I've just felt, has already split. So the interiors of these boxes could be better. Now, when these were released, some people started to post videos and things explaining that you could tell which colour you were getting because the lids have different colour dots on them. So the idea was supposedly that the lids would have either white or red dots on them. If you had all white dots, it was a white one. If you had a red dot on the lid, it was a black one. Now, these are the lids from both of my boxes. I don't know if you're going to be able to see the dots on those. I'll get them as close to the camera as I dare. They're identical. Now, I did buy the black one from an eBay seller. Primarily because that is the only way I could guarantee I was going to get a Black Wayfinder, was to use an eBay seller who had bought one, opened it, and it was a Black Wayfinder. You do pay a little bit more for that, obviously, because the sellers are providing a service of opening them and letting you know which colour they are, and they charge you a little bit more for that. And it's entirely possible that the lids, the boxes got mixed up on these, and I've actually ended up with two white boxes instead of a white box and a black box. But I don't think that's the case, because once these are in the box, there's no need to take them out of the box to see what the colour is. So if you're purely just seeing what colour they are, and I assume that the seller that I went to is doing that, all you need to do is open the lid and you can see the colour straight away, you see. The lids are held on with two pieces of tape. The seller had just cut the tape and literally kind of lifted the lid back like this, seen the colour, put the lid back down. So I don't think the boxes got mixed up. So what that means is either Disney have realised that people could find what colour they were getting and have stopped it by making the lids all the same, or the first batch were an anomaly and subsequent batches have all got the same lids, and there's no way of telling what colour you're getting. So that aside, let's have a look at these and how they work. So the first noticeable difference between the two is obviously the colour. If we turn them both on, the white one will glow blue and the black one glows green. And if we leave these for about 3 minutes now, they will make a sound. They make different sounds. The white one will play the Emperor's laugh. The black one will play Darth Vader's breathing. I said they work with the Kyber Crystals. If you don't have any of the Kyber Crystals, all that these toys will do is what they're doing in front of you now. They will sit there and glow, and eventually they will play a noise, Darth Vader's breathing or Emperor Palpatine laughing, but that's it. They're designed to work with the crystals. Now, there are 17 different character variants of the crystals. So there are 4 red ones, black crystal. There are 2 Force Guidance crystals, a red one and a green one. There are 2 white crystals, 2 yellow crystals, 2 blue crystals, 2 green crystals, and 2 purple crystals. These will work with any of those crystals, unless you happen to have a crystal that has been rewritten using an RFID tag reader writer. I'll leave a link in the description to what's going on with that. There's a very good video about that at the moment on YouTube by a channel by the name of Rusarian, explaining why recoded crystals may not work with these Sith Wayfinders. They will work with the holocrons and they will work with the lightsabers, but they won't work with the Wayfinders. So the crystals, and we have the Emperor. The crystals will work with all of these toys in the lightsabers. Darth Vader's breathing. So that's all of the differences between these. They work exactly the same with the crystals, and I'll show you that in a moment. The colour, the colour of the light, and the sound that they make when they're left idle, those are the three things that are different between these two. Everything else is the same. As I was saying, the crystals will work with the holocrons. In those, they give you the voice of the character. They work with the lightsabers, where they change the colour and the sound of the lightsaber. If you have a Savvy's Workshop lightsaber. They don't work with Disney Legacy lightsabers. They only work with the Savvy's Workshop lightsabers. And with the Wayfinders, they are character based, but they don't have the voice of the character. They will say exactly the same thing. They'll say what they're going to say in exactly the same voice for each crystal. It's just the dialogue that voice says is different. So, have a Darth Vader crystal here. And I'll show you on the black holocron how they respond to the different crystals. So when you bring the crystal close to the front, the colour will change to the colour of the crystal. It'll play this sound, and then eventually we'll get a series of dots which are repeated on both sides. And they're plotting a path to a planet that relates to the character for this crystal. So we'll go to a planet that relates to Darth Vader in this case. That was the Emperor laughing again.
Mustafar is a bleak world of stark.
So Mustafar is where Darth Vader has his castle.
An unstable orbit between two massive gas giants deep in the outer rim.
And once it's finished playing, if you represent the crystal,
Mustafar is a hostile and dangerous planet, but also a valuable
it will play another piece of dialogue.
And superheated metal are mined for rich minerals by the Techno Union and other corporations.
And there are 4 pieces of dialogue per crystal. And once you've gone through those 4 pieces of dialogue,
Darth Vader,
the crystal will go back to the beginning and play the first piece of dialogue
He
again.
meditated on the dark side of the Force, channeling his rage and pain to gain power as a Sith. Vader chose Mustafar as his sanctum.
So this is the 4 pieces of dialogue for the Vader crystal.
The planet was the site of his fateful duel with Obi-Wan Kenobi, a confrontation that left Vader burned and maimed.
So that's how they work with the crystals. For different coloured crystals, have a blue one here, which I believe is Luke from the sequel movies. Again, if we present the Luke crystal, the colour changes to blue, and we will plot a path to a different planet. If we do that same thing with the white crystal, it will do exactly the same thing.
Tatooine is a harsh desert world of sand dunes and baking rocks.
So
that
this is
orbit
an Obi-Wan
suns
Kenobi
in the
crystal.
galaxy's outer rim. Tatooine is a harsh desert world of sand dunes and baking rock that orbits twin suns in the galaxy's outer rim.
So as you can see, the way these respond to the Kyber crystals is exactly the same as one another. They are identical molds. They're exactly the same all the way around. The only physical difference is the colour. So they are basically exactly the same thing. The only differences being, as I said previously, the colour, the colour that they glow. This one glows green, this one glows blue, and the sound that they make when they're idle. This one plays Darth Vader's breathing. This one plays Emperor Palpatine's laugh. So that's the Sith Wayfinders from Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. Specifically the black one, but a comparison between the two, as I now have both of them thanks to one very kind person who's paid for these for me. They are fantastic toys if you have some of the crystals. If you don't have the crystals, they don't actually do much. So you need to factor in when you're buying one of these that if you haven't got any, you need to buy at least one crystal. These are also sold as blind box, so you don't know, you know which colour you're getting. So if you buy a red one, you may get any one of the 4 red characters or the black character, which is Snoke. With the other colours, you know you're getting one of 2 characters, but again, you don't know which. So these are blind box as well. The only crystals that aren't blind box are the 2 Force Guidance crystals. They are Darth Vader and Yoda. They function exactly the same with the Wayfinders, but they do function differently with the Sith and Jedi holocrons. With those, they give you kind of yes/no answers. So another name that the Force Guidance crystals are known by is 8-ball crystals, because they work like the old Magic 8-ball toys where you press a button and it gives you a yes/no answer to a question. So they work very similarly. They have sort of Star Wars equivalents of yes/no answers. But in these, they work exactly the same as the other crystals. They'll take you to a planet associated with the character. So yeah, that's this little video for today. The Black Sith Wayfinder comparison with the White Sith Wayfinder. I am also doing a video, I already have a video that shows the White Sith Wayfinder functioning with all 17 crystals. I will be posting a video of the Black Wayfinder, also with it functioning with all 17 crystals. They are long videos. They're about 3/4 of an hour, because there are 68 pieces of dialogue to get through. 17 crystals, four pieces of dialogues per crystal. So they do work out to be about 3/4 of an hour per video. So, and apart from the differences that I've covered in this video, they are exactly the same. So the dialogue you will hear in both of those videos are the same. So you only need to really watch one or the other. I'm putting both out because of the kindness of the person who bought these. I think I ought to do as full a review and function display of these as I can. So there will be there was already a video of this functioning with all 17 crystals. There will be a video of this one functioning with all 17 crystals as well. So there we go. I hope you found that helpful and interesting. If you have, please hit the thumbs up button, give the video a like. That lets YouTube know that people like this sort of content and they're more likely to share it with other people. Equally, if you like the content on the channel, please do consider subscribing to the channel. I think we're around about 500 members or so now, very close to 500 channel subscribers. Again, there's no motive in that other than to get the videos known more widely so that they get shared with more people. I don't do these videos for money. I do them purely for fun. I do them purely as a hobby. I don't accept freebies. I buy everything that goes on the channel myself, and that's how the channel will be. The asking you to subscribe is purely to get this out to more people. So if you have liked this content, if you want to see more content like this, then like and subscribe. Hit the little notification bell that will tell you when I'm making more videos. But for today, that's it. So all that leaves me to say is I'll see you soon, and cheerio everyone.